Matt, what do you hope to achieve with this film?
Well, this is our exploration of the DEI so-called anti-racist hustle, the scam. And so we want to expose these con artists for what they are, the people that are pushing this stuff. But we want to do it, comedically with humor. We want to do it in an entertaining way, which is why as you covered, I kind of go on my own journey of racial awakening, and I listen to these people. I listen to what they say. I try to put their teachings into practice in the film. I let them guide me down the rabbit hole so that the viewer can see by the end of the film where it leads. And it leads to some pretty wild and demented places, frankly. I don't want to give any spoilers away, but we take the path where they lead us.
Am I racist? Have you seen the movie? I have not seen it. You got to tell me in the comments. This is After Show Carnage. Matt Walsh on with Chris Cuomo on News Nation. They're going to go at it. Matt Walsh does not hold back. He's very smart. He's secretly based, Matt Walsh. Chris Cuomo has tried to move a little bit more to the moderate, to the classic liberal side, but Chris Cuomo goes head-to-head with Matt Walsh. Let's hear it.
So let's figure out for you what the line is, because I'm sure that diversity, equity, inclusion, these are not bad words for you. So what is the line to where you believe those honorable concepts become something different?
When it's all based in left-wing racial ideology, which these days, I mean, sure, there's a way that you could use the word diversity that doesn't have to be a bad thing. Inclusion doesn't necessarily, there are ways you can include people. That's obviously not bad. But when these terms are used and when it's put together, DEI, it always means left-wing racial ideology. What is left-wing racial ideology? Well, to sum it up in the most simple way possible, it's the idea that white people are inherently racist, inherently bad, and that nobody who is not white can be racist, and that white people are the author of all the oppression and suffering in the world. That's the belief, and every single one of these DEI people, that is absolutely what they believe. I'm not simplifying it at all. That is what they believe, and if it's grounded in that, then it's evil. It's wrong.
Yeah, Chris, those words are not always good. Diversity is not just a good word. This is how these people think. Even Chris in his 180 from, at least trying to do the 180 from how bad he was on CNN, even he says diversity is a good word. What? It's not, depends on the context. It's not always good. Equity, you have to even define what that means. No, that's not always good. Inclusion is not always good. Everybody doesn't need to be included. You don't need biological men included in women's bathrooms, right? These words they don't mean anything good or bad on their own, but Chris went assumptive. Let's keep it going.
What conclusion do you draw? And maybe you just told us there in the end of that last sentence, but build it out, expound a little for us. What is your conclusion about why the people that you encountered do what you call evil?
Because there's a lot of money in it, and we explore that in the film. In fact, we pay these race hustlers, Robin DiAngelo and others, to be in the film. We put their price tag on the screen because it's part of it's part of the scam. So there's money in it. There's also influence. There's power. There's political advantages. Listen, when people are very obsessively focused on race and they're resentful and angry and they feel guilt and suspicion and all that stuff based on race, they're much easier to manipulate. And that's why they do it. That's why these race hustlers do it in the DEI world. That's why Democrat politicians do it. We have the DEI presidential candidate right now in Kamala Harris, and this is what she stands for. She is the kind of mascot for all this stuff.
Stay tuned to the end after Matt Walsh goes head-to-head with Chris Cuomo here on News Nation. I'm going to tell you why, even though I haven't seen the movie, why I hate all of this. I'm going to tell you why at the end. Stay tuned.
Well, is she the mascot because she's a black woman, or do you believe that her politics are using these concepts unfairly? When you say mascot, what do you mean?
Well, it's the policies, but the real reason is that she was put in her position because she's a black woman, and that's not me saying that. I mean, that's Joe Biden said that. Joe Biden said that he was when he was looking for a vice president candidate, he was going to look for a black woman, and he ruled out all other demographics ahead of time and only focused on this demographic. That's DEI. That's what DEI is. That's judging people based on color, their skin, excluding people.
I believe he only said woman, and he wound up picking a black woman. But he did say he was going to pick a woman, and you can argue that did close off any choice of having a man there, unless it was a man that decided to identify as a woman. But you don't believe that the policy should matter more than the personage of the candidate, right? It's not what she is that is your issue, it's how she is.
Right, that's what we're saying. Those of us who are anti-DEI, our whole point is that what matters is the policies, what matters is the merit of the person. It's when you're in the DEI world, that's where you're dividing people based on race. Okay, you get this because this is your race, you're included because it's your race. No, we don't want you because you're the wrong race. That's the DEI. That's exactly what this film, that's the attitude this film is meant to expose.
Here's what, and Chris Cuomo's right, Joe Biden didn't say black woman, he said woman. And then in August, he had 4 choices and had just happened to narrow it down to a black woman. That doesn't change Matt Walsh's point that he was trying to make to Chris Cuomo, because there was a letter written by 1,000 black males that said Joe Biden had to take a black woman as VP, and 1,400 black women wrote a letter to Joe Biden saying he had to pick a black woman VP. So there you go. It's all wrapped up. Everything Matt Walsh said was right. But here's the kind of the final piece here. I hate this. The reason why I hate this is I want to like Daily Wire. And Daily Wire is behind Matt Walsh here, pushing the movie Am I Racist? And I want to like Daily Wire, but they put themselves in a position by prioritizing a certain issue that clouds everything. If they do good work, I will say they did good work. Most recently, Michael Knowles did an amazing Thanksgiving 60-second short that was hilarious. The type of thing you should see on Saturday Night Live. When they do good things, I'm going to say it. Recently, Brett Cooper, and I think there's camps in the Daily Wire kind of infrastructure that are falling apart. I think Matt Walsh is secretly based. I think Brett Cooper, believe it or not, is the younger one that looks like Ben Shapiro's daughter, basically, or a twin of Ben Shapiro, a younger twin. She looks like Ben Shapiro in drag, basically. Not that she's ugly, but that's what she looks like. I think Michael Knowles, but definitely her and Matt Walsh, they were kind of in Team Candace Owens. So for Matt Walsh to do this Am I Racist? It's almost like, well, maybe you should do Am I America First? Maybe that should be the next documentary. And all of y'all should leave Daily Wire, Michael Knowles, Brett Cooper, Matt Walsh, and join Candace Owens and do a different venture that would be so much better than what you're doing right now. Let me know what you think in the description. You always got more After Show Carnage with the links here and the video coming up next, curated just for you. Let me know what you think.
Click the link. The next battle is ready, and it's brutal. After Show Carnage.